Hands now, and welcome to today's Goosebumps the Vanishing press conference. Thank you. Moving on, we will go next to Reactor from Poland.
Hello. And David, my question is to you about the genre, because last time you were in it was like 30 years ago in Wolf with Jack Nicholson. So I'm curious, how was it to come back to this genre of soft horror movie?
Yeah, I had a I had a cameo pretty much like a one line in that movie Wolf with Jack Nicholson. I think I played a cop who was, handcuffing him. Um, Thanks for finding that. um, yeah, I love horror films, and unfortunately, that was not one I got to do much in. So 30 years later, it is really, really fun to finally kind of dive into this genre of action horror comedy.
Next up, we'll go to Watch Your Pass. Go ahead.
Hey, this question is for everyone. I know a lot of us love the Goosebump books and have, grown up reading them. What is your favorite Goosebump book, that you've read? This is for everyone.
I think it's hard to say which one's my favorite that I've read, but I really liked The Haunted Card just because of how we adapted it this season and how we kind of brought it off the page into real life. I think it's really cool, and it made me like the book even more because seeing it with my own eyes and actually being able to be in it was really cool. So I'd probably say The Haunted Car.
I've said this a lot. My mother narrated the audiobook for Stay Out of the Basement. No, sorry. I'm sorry. Not Stay Out of the Basement. Night of the Living Dummy. Night of the Living Dummy. Not Stay Out of the Basement. That would be cool. So she narrates audiobooks, and so that that was my first introduction to this whole thing because I was a young child. So probably that one.
That's really cool. I didn't know that.
I know, I've said it a lot.
That's really cool. Mine would be Stay Out of the Basement. I think I'm a little biased because I just love that one, and obviously
and it's you.
and the character I'm playing is inspired by it. So.
Next up, we'll go to Cherry the Geek TV. Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for chatting with us. I'm interested in the three of you talking about working with the visual effects. Sam and Jayden, you're kind of newer to the industry. You're kind of jumping in, working with these visual effects. David, a lot of the work that you've done over the years has been what you see on set is what you see on what's broadcast, right? You're not working with visual effects. In episode 1, you have a big scene involving plants. Talk about that experience. Is this something you've always wanted to do? Is dive into the world of visual effects, and is it something you'd like to continue doing?
I love doing things with special effects. I definitely haven't done much of it in the past. And it's a lot of imagination, and it's really, really fun. I like to say, like, I never would ever get the opportunity to like scream and run away in the middle of a subway in New York, so it's pretty fun. Takes a lot of imagination, but I think it's super cool to do it in real life and pretty much play off of nothing except your own brain, and then see it on the screen and have it like be a real monster that you had to create in your brain.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. It's a bit of the floor is lava kind of situation. If you're talking to a little child and you say the floor is lava, you might get some behavior that's really, really I don't have the word. I don't know the word I'm looking for this, but would be evident that the floor would be lava. So I guess it's really about getting back to that that space where you're sensitive enough to that childlike part of yourself where you can really go, oh, like this is coming to get me. So it's really just, I guess being willing to play, not to use an actor word.
No, but I think Sam's exactly right. I think that's the real fun of it, is tapping into that child part of you that you have to play make believe, right? You have to believe that as you mentioned, both Sam and I had in the very first episode had our battle with plant, like right with these vines and this plant thing that came to life. So we were both kind of thrust into a lot of stunt work, visual effects, really using our imaginations, as Sam mentioned, to tap into that childlike response you would have, is really fun as an actor. And that's, I think, why we all do what we do.
Next up, we'll go to Hollywire. Go ahead.
First of all, love the show. I can't wait for the next episode. Amazing. This question is for all of you. I'm curious how you all connected to your characters and how you related to them. Jayden, your character is about to go to college. She's really into debate. David, you're a botanist. We've also played a paleontologist. And Sam, you're kind of shy, but also you really have some guts. So how do you connect to those roles on a personal level?
Sam?
All right. Well, I think I've said this a few times before. Probably the thing that screamed out at me most about this thing was a sensitivity to the character, and you mentioned a shyness, and I know what you mean. I guess I'd call it more of a vulnerability. I think sometimes, I think there was, or I hope to find a rawness to Devin in some cases that, and I think that exists in all of us. I think that quality and that wide-eyedness to the world, and also wanting to prove something. Yeah. I think basically I read those and I felt something like that in me and hope to offer that.
Yeah. I loved Cece from the moment that I auditioned from her. A lot of the times I was like, I feel like I'm not doing enough, because I feel like I'm just acting like myself some of the times. I've said, if you were to take my perfectionism side of me and turn it into a human, it would be Cece. There's an aspect of me that's like very much like her. And I think, I was homeschooled for a while, but when I was in actual school, I was very much similar to Cece, maybe hopefully a little more toned down. But I immediately related to her drive, her ambition, but also her high expectations of herself, and kind of her journey of figuring out where her self-worth lies, and her realizing that it doesn't lie in her accomplishments and her success. It lies in herself and, her self-worth. So I think she's a great person, and she goes through a lot. So yeah.
Yeah, for me, there were several things I feel like connected to Anthony with, and was able to access. Certainly being a parent of a teenager today, and having being at that stage in life, which some of you may or may not be at, where you have an aging parent and things start to change, and you become the parent of your parent. You have to take care of them and manage them. Certainly can relate to that. Part of Anthony being a divorced dad as well. So I think I really was attracted to the fact that this was a guy who I thought it was an opportunity to really ground the family in a kind of reality, a kind of care for each other, even though all of us have our own problems going on individually. As a family, I felt it was important, and I think we were able to do this as actors with the director, to really form a foundation from which we can, like, all the craziness, all the action and comedy and horror can kind of split off and depart, and then hopefully we can return to that by the end. So
Next up, we'll go to Movies con Giovanni. Go ahead.
Hola, hello. So for me, a big part of Goosebumps is about kids overcoming their fears. So I was wondering, what were some of your irrational fears when you were kids, and have you overcome them?
I've always it's not irrational. Like I kind of freak out every time I'm at the doctor. And like whenever I'm getting blood drawn, my brain, everyone's like, just don't think about it. No, all I think about is what is happening inside of my body. And like, so I guess my rational fear is automatically anytime I feel any physical pain or I'm at the doctor, I think the absolute worst. Like I'm like, okay, my limb is just gonna fall off. And that started very young, and no, I haven't gotten over it. So yes.
Fair.
Yeah. I would say my irrational fear that has done the opposite, has gotten worse over time, would be black holes.
Oh,
If I think about it too much, if I don't even want to go there with the idea of a black hole. It's I find them deeply unsettling.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not wrong.
you're not wrong.
If one appeared, if
You're
a
not
black
wrong.
hole, appeared,
Yeah.
there's nothing you can do.
That's right. You will be
Gone.
sucked into the void.
Like I can outrun a haunted car, maybe. No, probably.
And for our last question, we'll go to TV Music Network. Go ahead.
Hello. I was wondering, I liked your characters as a family. How did you work to build those relationships? Did you do any tricks or hang out between scenes?
We definitely hung out between scenes. I don't know about any specific tricks. I think it's getting to know each other, creating a bond outside of obviously shooting and your characters. But also like I think that it was very easy. I think me and Sam kind of got that sibling relationship, and I don't know, we were kind of thrust right into it. I've said this the first day we had to take family photos. So it was right away like the family, dynamic was right there, I guess. But I think it was just creating a bond and getting to know each other. And I had a really fun time connecting to them, and it was great working with them.
Yeah. No, you.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's hard. You're meeting your kids for the first time, right? And you start shooting in 2 days. So
Yeah.
you have to do kind of a crash course on set when we're not actually filming, like talking. Just like, okay, what about this? And what do you think about, just really trying to make some quick choices and decisions collaboratively about what our relationships are. And hopefully, excuse me, hopefully you pull it off. I mean, but it felt pretty good from the start.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, exactly both of those things. And then
Oh, good, you got that.
yeah.
There. Sorry.
No, well,
Okay.
you hope it happens, you do some work to make it happen. And then I think at a certain point, you hope that it starts to kind of take care of itself. Devin comes alive and Anthony comes alive and Cece come alive in certain ways. You're several weeks into filming and they start to offer up something themselves from somewhere else, hopefully. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. That is a wrap on today's press conference for Goosebumps the Vanishing. The show will premiere in January.
Yay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Take care,
Bye.
guys.